Welcome to Cincinnati Soccer Talk, the podcast covering all things soccer in the Queen City. So get in touch, soccer fans. Email us at feedback@cincinnati-soccertalk.com. Now, here's your host, Brian Weigel.
Hey, yo, what's up? How we doing, Buffalo Wings and Rings? How we doing, everybody? Oh, come on, Jimmy McLaughlin's in the house. We're getting a little bit louder than that. How we doing, Oakley? All right, this is Cincinnati Soccer Talk here live on April 16th, 2018, a day that will be known as Legend. Wait for it. Dairy. There we go. Come on, everybody. Of course, yes, this is the day that we hopefully found out our futures here with FC Cincinnati in the stadium to be hopefully built in the city of Cincinnati and West End. But before we get into all that, this is not Mr. Watch Your Tackles. It's Mr. Studs Up Brian Weigel here, hosting the B Squad or B Host, A Squad, whatever you call it here at Cincinnati Soccer Talk. So we are live, proud, and happy to be here at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Oakley. Guys, how we doing tonight? We got Yosef Sagai here in the first co-host chair. How you doing, Yosef?
I'm feeling awesome. Great to be here.
We got Mr. City Cable, Bill Wolf.
Hey, guys. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out to City Hall today, and thanks for coming to Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Bill Wolf is much better in terms of quality than the City Cable out there this during today. So, and then, of course, I have my better half, or what I like to call him, the evil twin, Brad Weigel. How are you, Brad?
I don't know about you guys, but it's a great day to be an FC Cincinnati fan.
Great day to be an FC Cincinnati fan. Every day is a great day to be an FC Cincinnati fan because we are not a Louisville City fan. Yes, that is what we are not. So, guys, we're going to do a little bit fun show tonight. We're going to have a quick recap here of this past week. We're going to talk to the guest of the hour, Jimmy McLaughlin, in segment 2. Then we will have a surprise guest. I think in segment 3, we're going to announce that.
I don't think it's a surprise.
Is it not a surprise?
No.
Who is it, Bill Wolf? Who is it going to be?
Mr. Jeff Berding.
Mr. Jeff Berding. And then we will – what? Yeah, and then we'll talk to I guess we'll talk about Pittsburgh coming up later in the show. So, guys, real quick, I wanted to say thank you to Grayson Coors and Buffalo Wings and Rings here in Oakley. That's a great place to go for FC Cincinnati matches. They're the home of the pride for away matches. Thank you once again for hosting our live show and being a great partner. Also, if you came in and you didn't receive a ticket, we're going to be raffling off some gift cards here later on in the show. Of course, you can also, a little bit of housekeeping here, support Cincinnati Soccer Talk, cincinnati-soccertalk.com/support. Lets us buy all this cool gear to do more stuff like this. And a big shout-out to episode captain Jeff Egan. So thank you very much for wearing the armband in this episode. So, guys, we had a big game this weekend in Bethlehem Steel. So you're going from a 25,000 crowd to about 250. I don't even know if there was that people there. So that had to be a unique thing. I'm sure we'll talk to you about that, Jimmy.
I think Jimmy's parents were half the crowd.
Jimmy's family was half the crowd.
Family, yeah.
Hopefully, they're great people. Saw some good pictures. Good people. So, guys, let's talk about that match. First starts in 2018 for Daniel Haber. Naz, for the 100th time, I'm going to get it wrong. Al-Badawi, 100th time. We're going to make a record of that. So, guys, what did we think of the game? 1-1 draw.
Also
thumbs
Boehner,
up.
by the way.
Oh, Matt Boehner, of course. I forgot another Cincinnati boy, Matt Boehner. So bouncing around here a little bit. But Brad, give your thumbs up for that first match.
No, I think that it was one of the first times this year we've seen the team look like they've had a good plan of action and attack going forward. I know the first half was a little bit rough. The second half, they were really doing a great job managing possession as well as attacking the goal. I think was like 11-3 on shots. So it was good to see them starting to really kind of gel and click. You could see a lot of the relationships starting to develop on the field.
Bill, what was your big takeaways from the match? I know we've been hoping for a more complete 90-minute performance, but we saw a really good 20 minutes in the first part of the game. And then towards the end, we saw FC Cincinnati kind of own the steal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they came out strong. They had a lot of possession, very, very solid in the attack. Obviously, once that goal went in, it took a lot of the wind out of their sails. You saw that they kind of fell back for a little bit, kind of had to recoup, but once they did, they were definitely owning the field basically in the second half. It really looked like we should have come back and got that at least second goal to win it. But, soccer's cruel sometimes. I think for me, the big takeaway was just that, looking game to game, I feel like the guys are clicking more and more. I'm seeing more and more thoughts where they gel. People are thinking along the same lines. They're making the same connections. But just more so is just the attack in general. I mean, if you watch the Lou City game, it was like when we'd attack, we'd only have 1 or 2 people in the box. When Lou City would attack, you'd see 6 white shirts in the box. It obviously gives them a lot more, numbers forward. It gives them a lot more chances. They picked up a scrappy goal, and they got one on us. In this game, we really were able to bring our wings in a lot more. You saw a lot more attack. You saw a lot more of our white shirts in the box, and it obviously made a difference.
You saw that in our stats guru, Ken Hedger, put out our expected goals for this game, and we actually came out on top of this one at 2.08 versus a 1.96. So I think a 1-1 draw was pretty fair here in the game. Of course, we had some missed chances across the board that I'm sure Coach Koch will want to work with. So the big kind of headline for that game is the big shiny toy, Naz Abadawi. Am I going to get that right? Jimmy's going to laugh at me the rest of the show. Al-Badawi. Again, 100 times I'm trying to get that wrong. Give us your initial take of Naz here, Yosef.
I really think he helped push play forward. I mean, we got to remember that with these developmental teams, you never know what you're going to get as far as who they're going to send down. They sent down 6 MLS players, including a couple of really quality center backs. So that said, we found that we had attacking play forward, and there was on the stat sheet we saw that 31% of Naz's passes were moving forward and pushing the attack. So it gave me a lot of hope. Again, the cohesion is going to come with time, but you got to remember that this is a team that typically had struggled on the road, and we played a quality squad. We got a point out of it away, and we're on, whether people realize it or not, we're on our way to one of the best starts, in our short history. So
yeah, I know Boston Brazil, he did a great story at the beginning of the year measuring, the first 5 games of the year and the points you accrue. And I think if we win, we will set a new record for the most points in 5 games, and we absolutely have a chance to do that this weekend versus Pittsburgh, who has been doing pretty well, but they really have not played any world beaters as of yet. So real quick, Brad, are you pretty happy with our start so far?
Yeah, results-wise, I'm happy to have 7 points through 4 matches, especially getting 7 of those points on the road. That's definitely quality. Some areas I'd like to see improve in, our finishing. That was something that kind of we struggled with against Louisville. I know we missed a couple sitters at Louisville and versus Bethlehem. So, that's something I'd like to continue to see improvement on. I think it's going to happen just because of the quality we have on this team. And it is still early in the year, and we haven't had as much continuity as we'd like. So I think, I'd like to see that, but you can't argue with 7 points, especially playing the returning champs, and then you go on the road 3 times. I'll take it for now.
Yeah, I think we've had a pretty rough start in terms of our opponents to begin the year. So do you guys have any final thoughts before we kind of go talk about the breaking news of the day? No?
No, let's move on.
All right. So, of course, if you weren't living under the rock, you probably know there's been some pretty big news in the city of Cincinnati. The Cincinnati City Council passed a 5-4 resolution to build a stadium in the city of Cincinnati. So what do you think about that? I'm sure we'll talk to the man who kind of spearheaded that a little bit later in the show. But, pretty excited. I think 5-4 is kind of what we expected. Just really having something to pitch to MLS. So now, we wrote a story about the balls in your court. So, Yosef, what's your take on the day? And are we going to hear an announcement this week?
Oh, that's a tough question. Why would you put that on me? My take on it is it's definitely a good sign. I think, I would have been okay with any location, but I think a location in what MLS can view as the quote-unquote urban core of the city is going to help our case more than any other location would have. Mm-hmm. And finally getting something solidified to say, hey, this is what we have, this is what it needs, and we have the ball rolling on everything that we need to do as far as a fan presence, as far as a stadium, and as far as the funding for it. That's a great step. Now, are we going to see an announcement this week? I would hate to say that and be wrong for like the 4th time. So I'm going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Cautiously optimistic about an announcement upcoming. But all I know is that as far as cases go, I think of the remaining teams, we definitely have the best case to be in MLS.
Sure. So, real quick, anybody in the room here, if you were at today's meetings, spoke, whatever, can you please stand up? I'd love to give you guys a round of applause because I know several of you guys were there at City Council today talking. Stand up, Maximilian. Kevin.
Yeah. Max.
Thank you guys for all you do. Yes.
Chris,
yeah. So thank you all for taking the time. You know, we're supporters here, fans first and foremost. So thank you for all you've done, taking your time out of your day to do that. Another person who's down there was Bill Wolf. Bill, what was your emotion when that passed?
Relief. I think we knew we were going to get it, but you know, it's Cincinnati, so it's never real until it's real. And it got real quick, which was awesome. So yeah, I mean, I think it was exactly what we expected to happen down to the vote. I was actually a little bit positive that Denard and Young both spoke out specifically and said, I'm going to vote no, and this is why I'm going to vote no. But I also recognize that FCC is important to this community. I support this club, and once this is decided, I'm going to get behind it and make sure that this, you know, community business benefits agreement and FCC both succeed.
Yeah.
So I think that's positive. That you know, it's more about their concerns about the way it's been done or the information they have at this moment. But it sounds like they all want to get behind it. So I think that's a positive for it.
All right, one final piece of news before we bring up our VIP MVP. We had to say goodbye today to a friend of the FC Cincinnati family, Josu. Moved on, I guess we can say, from FC Cincinnati. He parted ways with the club. Really sad to see him go, but you know, wish him best and brightest. Know he had an injury. Brad?
Well, I just, you know, it's sad to see him go because in my opinion, he did a great job last year. But yeah, I will forever have in my mind when he made that penalty kick versus the Fire, and you know, it was huge, just stepping up there and ripping it right in the back of the net. And then he came out and he turned, and he put, you know, made his hand into a heart and showed how much he cared for this city, this fan base, and just a great guy. And we're definitely going to miss him here, and we wish him all the best. But thank goodness we don't have to hear from any Corral Blasters fans anymore.
No more.
If there's a good thing that came out of that.
Yeah, if there's a good thing that came out of it, no Blasters. All right.
But no, great guy.
All right, guys. Well, I think this is the person y'all been waiting for. I see several Jimmy T-shirts around here. That has to be flattering to see. So everybody give it up for Jimmy McLaughlin. Come on up, Jimmy. There we go. He's signing autographs, getting involved with everybody. Put on the headphones. It's all right. You'll figure it out. So, Jimmy, you're lucky. You actually got to go to Oakley versus, I think we're doing Long Necks or Kentucky next time. So you got the short commute today. So we are, yeah, very good. Is his mic on?
Nope.
No, Brad turned his mic off. There we go. I can hear him now. All right, Jimmy. Guys, how we doing? Yo, give another welcome to Jimmy here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thank you for being here live and in person. So I know we've spoke to you on the podcast before. A real quick update. I don't know if any of you guys have listened to the podcast, but Jimmy's a big fan of the Oakley Kroger over here. So have you had any adventures at Oakley Kroger?
I haven't been there that much this year.
No?
I'm waiting for the warmer weather to come around, and then I'll probably start having some more frequent visits. Yeah.
There we go. I like it. So,
yeah, what was the story about Yosef and the watermelon at Kroger?
Yeah, Mrs. Sagai's here. Yeah, I think Yosef, you want to...
Careful, that'll get you in trouble.
I know, right? No, you're going to be surprised. So I moved into a new apartment about 2 or 3 minutes away from here.
After party tonight?
Yeah. And went to get some odds and ends from the Kroger. And the first thing my mother tells me while she's helping me load up the cart is, do you want to put a watermelon in the cart? I'm like,
oh, man.
Someone really wants grandkids, and they want them soon.
Real quick, Jimmy, can you give everybody out there a quick recap of the preseason? We know you came into camp with a little bit of a knock. You sustained a little bit of knock in a preseason game. You know, you've come back to match fitness pretty quickly. So what have you been doing to get back?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a frustrating preseason with me just in terms of injuries. I guess going back to last season, maybe the last maybe 2 months of the season, I had a little ankle injury that was bothering me that I was kind of playing through, and just kind of managing it to get through the season, and thought it kind of all disappeared after I took some time off in the off season and kind of re-aggravated it. I was in a boot for about a month, 3 weeks, I think, in the beginning of the preseason. So I missed a good chunk of time. And then kind of once I got right back into it in the Sacramento game, I separated my AC joint in my shoulder. So just kind of unlucky timing with that. But I mean, I think I'm naturally pretty fit, and I've been working pretty hard with Austin and in the gym and everything, and doing everything the coaching staff has lined up for me. And I feel really good, feel better and better each day. And yeah, I mean, I'm match fit now, and it's good to be back on the field for sure.
I guess I'd say you're one of the 3 main players who's been with this team since its inception. How are you feeling about this season so far, independent of everything, and then compared to how we've started in the past?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I mean, I think if you look at the teams we've played so far, it's honestly not the easiest start to the season. For some reason, I think USL likes throwing us a curveball in the beginning of the year with a bunch of away games and everything. But, I mean, I think we got 2 really strong results to start the season. I mean, obviously, winning in Charleston was a huge feat, and we were unfortunate to get a tie and obviously the loss against Louisville. But, I mean, I think it's a strong start. And if we get a win against Pittsburgh, I think it will be a very good start. So just got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, have you put your mic a little closer to you? There you go. Go ahead, Bill.
To say, you've experienced several special moments here in Cincinnati. What's been your favorite moment so far?
Favorite one? It's tough. I mean, I think for me, it's the Chicago Fire game. I've never seen the entire stadium just have that much energy and everyone so engaged in the game and everything. And so that for me was something really special. That moment when Mitch saved that final penalty kick was just pure euphoria. Mm-hmm. But again, I mean, I would have thought that would have never happened. So it's crazy what this club does, and it just keeps topping itself. And I'm almost positive that there's going to be something even better than that this season. So
we were joking versus Louisville that when you got up to just warm up, not discounting the crowd when you came in, but there's something with you in this crowd, and there's connection there. And I know we appreciate the effort and everything. So I hope you appreciate it. But what does this crowd mean to you?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, honestly, every single time I go on the field and I hear the applause, it gives me goosebumps. I mean, it's so flattering, and it's something that's really, really special to me. And I mean, this fan base has not just been incredible to me, but the whole entire team and the whole organization. I mean, it really is what makes this whole thing run and what makes this team succeed. So, I mean, it's so flattering, and I'm just honored to receive that type of applause.
Now, Jimmy, we see a lot on the field. We see the players who get signed, but there's a lot that we don't see behind closed doors. What has the club done since year one that has improved the club as a whole that the general public may not see just by coming to the games on match day?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the little things. I mean, it is pretty crazy to think how different it is from year 1 to year 3, just in terms of like the everyday training and getting to and from the airport. I mean, just kind of minuscule things that you don't think it's a really big deal. But, I mean, now we get lunch every single day after practice. I mean, that wasn't a thing before. I mean, now we're fully staffed in terms of video, equipment. I mean, you name it. I mean, we have it all. We used to pile in these little buses to go to the airport. I mean, now we take coach buses to the airport. So just kind of little day-to-day things like that, and just having more resources and everything makes a massive difference. And it makes our lives a lot easier and kind of allows us to focus more on the field.
Yeah. Real quick, Jimmy, what's an average, as a pro soccer player, what's an average day for you, training during the week and maybe even some rituals you might have for games?
Yeah. I mean, each day is a little bit different. For the most part, each week has kind of the same general layout. So this is a weird week because we play Sunday, but say we play Saturday. Sunday's usually off. Monday we will come in. The guys who started the match and played the bulk of the minutes will kind of just do a regen, which basically jog around the field, a little stretch, and while the other guys will train. Tuesday will be a normal training day where I guess I get to practice like at 9:20. Training on the field doesn't start till 11, but we'll usually have some sort of video session or some type of meeting before practice. So everybody gets there pretty early. I think we have to be there by 10. That's the required time. Train. Some guys will do some extra work. Maybe some guys will do some strength work in the gym. And then if it's later in the week, maybe we'll have a scout video after that. Then I'll kind of go home, take a little nap. I don't know. hang out with the guys, play some video games, go to coffee shop, read. I mean, after the actual practice part of the day is done, I mean, it really is a lot of free time. But at the same time, that free time is pretty important as well. I mean, we can't kind of be doing strenuous activities. The rest is also just as important as the actual training. So, I mean, my friends make fun of me for just chilling out and playing video games and stuff, and they say my life's easy playing soccer and everything, which it definitely is. But I mean, that's the rest part of it is just as important, which I think is something that most people don't really understand.
So you mentioned a lot of video. You talk about video, before training. You talk about scouting. How much before a game? How much are you guys looking at? How much video time do you spend looking at the other team, making decisions on how you're going to set up the plans, and then how much of it is actually watching yourselves and discussing what you're doing right and wrong?
Yeah, it's a good bit. I mean, I'd say we mostly focus on ourselves. We do have an extensive scout on the other team as well, which we'll do probably the Thursday before a Saturday game. But it's kind of just general in terms of their style of play and everything, maybe a couple of weak spots that we think we can exploit. But we really try to focus on us. I mean, we think we have the quality and the ability to kind of dominate games and bring our style of play onto the other team and let them adapt to us. And that's kind of our philosophy. So it's mostly us kind of reviewing the past match and seeing what we could do differently and how we can improve going forward. But I wouldn't say we necessarily are changing our style because of an opponent. I mean, naturally, yeah, some teams play differently and there's things you need to focus on, but we want to be the team to kind of bring it to the other squad and let them adjust to us.
So we have a listener question here from Andy Schmiedeman.
I should have been prepared for something like this.
Who now protects you when you are in your hotel room while on the road?
See, I've upgraded to a taller guy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I had Forrest Lasso protect me this time, so I don't know.
It's a big boy.
I was starting to get nightmares when Weta was protecting the door, just all 5'9" of them or whatever. I don't know how much he really would have done. So having Forrest there, I think, is a bit more secure, and I sleep a bit better these days. So
it's not really what he can do. It's just as long as you can run faster than him.
Yeah, I mean, he's really just buying time. I mean, I'll take the chair, probably break the window at that point, scale down the side of the building, and I'm out. But, yeah, as long as Forrest can probably hold him up for 15, 20 seconds, I should be okay.
Oh, man. So we've seen your social media feeds, and you're a veteran of the squad now. I guess there's 8 guys from last year, and we've heard some rumors that Garrett Halfhill might be training somewhere. Where has your spot been to take new guys on the team? What's your favorite restaurant, or where do you go when you're off?
Yeah, so actually today the guys they're actually at our favorite spot currently. We go to this Indian place called Sean, right in, I guess it's called Hyde Park or Rookwood Plaza.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our one little spot where a lot of the guys go on the off day or just a night when we're trying to go together. So, but no, it's been fun. I mean, it is kind of interesting because it essentially is a brand new team. I mean, there's all new guys. And being one of the guys who's been here from the start, I mean, I'm kind of playing a tour guide as well, you know. So it's been fun and kind of lets me re-explore the city, and you kind of get the excitement of being brand new to a place and brand new to a team, and it kind of rubs off on me as well. And it's fun to be a part of it and see them kind of enjoying the experience for the first time. And I'm glad I can just kind of help and show them a few places.
We'll work on getting better weather. We'll do.
I've been telling them that this isn't normal, but
no,
you never know.
Still better than Cleveland, so we're okay.
So we have another listener question from Pat Subling, Mama Subs, mom of the host of the show.
Nice.
Yeah, she's asking, and I know they're your colleagues, but who on the team would you say you admire the most? And if there's a particular reason why, you can let us know too.
Oh, that's a deep question. I think Richie Ryan is the one who stands out to me. I'd heard of Richie just through friends. Weta played with him in Ottawa. And another good friend of mine, Ryan Richter, played with him as well. And I just heard really, really good things about him. And obviously, you don't know until you actually meet him and everything. Mm-hmm. He's blown me away. I mean, he just an awesome guy. I mean, this guy's played in the highest levels in the world, and just so willing to share his knowledge and help players along and teach me little things. And he's been an incredible pickup, I think, for the team. And his experience is invaluable to a group like this, and I think that's what's special about the squad. You have some guys who've played at these top levels, and they're going to just help bring the other players along who haven't played at that level. And having these guys on the team, they almost act as coaches as well. So him, for me, somebody I really look up to, and someone I'll always be asking for advice and kind of talk the game with. I think we have a similar philosophy on how we like to play. And, yeah, it's been really a nice addition having him, and just an awesome guy to be around as well.
We have a question from YouTube here, actually, and this is a little bit different because you're still working your way back. What do you use as injection of enthusiasm? What gets you amped, to go in the game with 20, 30 minutes to go right now with the past 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the opportunity to change the game. I mean, that's kind of what gets me going. Especially in these last couple of games where I've come on and the game's a bit more spread and stretched. I think it's a good chance for me to go in and kind of get isolated and attack guys 1v1, which I love to do. So, I mean, it's not very hard for me to get amped up for the game. It's just it's in my blood and just how it is. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different approach when you come off the bench, and you have to prepare differently in all aspects. I mean, in terms of how you prepare physically, but even mentally, because when you're starting a game, obviously you know you're going to play for a bulk period of time, and you kind of have to manage your energy and how you play and everything. But when you come on for 20 minutes, I mean, you can kind of just run yourself into the ground and play a little differently. So that's how I look at it. When I'm coming in off the bench, I want to leave everything I have on the field, empty the tank in the 15, 10, 25, 2, whatever minutes I get, and I want to affect the game in a positive manner, and I want to change the game. So, I mean, my objective is to get in there and score a goal, have an assist, set a play up, to do whatever it takes, block a shot to help the team get a win. So, yeah, it's a bit different than starting, but it's also a fun challenge as well.
We got another listener question from YouTube, PJ on YouTube. He wants to know, what is the worst stadium to play in the USL?
Oh, geez.
Worst stadium in the USL.
See, I think before it was Rochester. I think that was the easy answer. And it actually is kind of a cool stadium, which is a shame, but there's just never anyone there. Yeah. The turf is very run down. It's Rochester. So there's not really a lot going on in the away trip. So that used to be the one. Now I really don't know.
Safe answer is Louisville.
People would say Bethlehem, but obviously my family can come to the game, so that makes it a little better for me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of places that don't quite compare to Nippert. So,
what's the worst baseball field?
I think we all know that answer, huh? Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Oh man, go ahead, Joseph.
So 3 goals in 4 matches. The points are what matter. We understand that, but what is going to get this offense on track going forward? Because while we have had great defensive performances, I think everybody likes to see a goal showing here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be time. Obviously, a lot of new players, a lot of new faces. I mean, I think if you look at the front 4 that started last game and even last game in particular, the front 4 with the striker and the kind of 3 across the middle were all brand new players. I mean, I think Corbin was the only one who started the first 3 that was a returner. So it's going to take a little to kind of understand each other, and you can work so much in preseason and in practice and everything. But once you get in the game, I mean, it's completely different, and it takes these real game, meaningful minutes to kind of figure it out with each other. And I think once the goals start coming, the floodgates open. I mean, that's kind of the other thing about the offensive side of the game. I mean, it can be very streaky. You see that in all types of sports. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's coming together, and it's just a matter of time, and it's going to be fun for the fans to watch soon.
I think it's fair to say that the style of play that we have right now is also making it harder to get that offense running. I mean, when you're playing with a true target forward, and maybe the boss is keeping an eye on you here, but when you're playing a true target forward, right, and there's that one guy, it kind of makes it very clear where you want to take the ball to. It doesn't seem like that's our style. We're trying to do a lot more quick possession, short passing in the box, and that means that you guys have to understand each other a lot. So do you think that plays in that at all?
What are we doing? Yeah, okay. Geez, Jeff's put me on the hot seat here. I guess he wasn't happy about that tie. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's very fluid in the attack. I mean, obviously we play with one striker, but that doesn't really mean we play with one striker. I mean, we give the number 10 a lot of freedom, and you even see on the goal. I mean, Nas he's in the box, and he's a midfielder, but it's not like that. And we like to keep our wingers wide, which is supposed to open up the field for all the central midfielders, and especially the striker, and kind of stretch out the entire defense. And the goal is to get the outside backs in the game as well. So in modern soccer, I mean, it's every position on the field critical to the attack. I mean, you look at back in the day, I mean, it's the strikers who are scoring all the goals. Now it's everybody. So, I mean, our objective is to obviously get the strikers goals and get the ball in the box to them and everything, but also to get the wingers in these dangerous spots and the attacking midfielders as well. So, I mean, it ends up being a collective effort. And, I mean, the strategy obviously is to kind of keep the ball on the ground and play to our strengths. We have a lot of technical-based players. But at the same time, we need to be able to get the outside backs to overlap the wingers and get some dangerous service in the box for the striker as well. So, I mean, obviously, there's so many different ways to score a goal and everything. But, I mean, I would say once we get in the final third, those positions become pretty interchangeable. There's a lot of structure in the build-up, for sure. But once you're in the box and you have these creative moments of brilliance is kind of when the freedom opens for the players, and that's when the moments of magic happen. So yeah, I mean, it's going to come, and it's I think it's a matter of time, honestly. So
we hope. Yeah, we're very excited. You know, we've seen a lot of promise. Like this week, we had 17 shots, 14 of them were in our 3 highest percentage areas on the pitch. So that's great to see. So I guess 2 more questions before we kind of get you out of here, and you can talk to all your loving and adoring fans. God, I wish I had my face on a shirt. Real quick.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Angry Brian face. Real quick, from Jim on YouTube, tell us a good team prank or ribbing that has happened this year, or if you have a jokester, aka Mark Village, on the team.
Team prank.
Initiation. What?
Yeah, a pretty funny one was so we have like a fine wheel. So
really,
it actually was Andrew Wiedemann's idea. He's the creator of the wheel. Yeah, Andy Schmiedemann or something. Yeah. So basically, when you get a fine, you can either just pay the fine, you can argue it, and if you lose the argument, it doubles, or the fun option, which everyone peer pressures everyone into doing, you can spin the wheel. So you spin the wheel, and it has a bunch of different options that could happen. So one's like the fine doubles, one's add $100 to the fine.
Don't pass go.
Split it between your 2 people you sit next to. Like fines free. So like there's some positive ones as well. But one of the new ones this year that Mark Village, who actually was the wheel creator this year, was Teddy Kerr, our equipment manager. Teddy Kerr day off. So Evan ended up getting a fine the other week and had to spin the wheel and got Teddy Kerr day off. So basically, it ended up just all of us just punting balls all around Nippert. I mean, hiding mannequins and stuff. So he has to go search for them. And he must have been out there for an hour and a half, before Teddy had to go out and help him finish up. It was absolutely.
So brutal. What do you have to do to get a fine?
All different things. It's pretty easy to get a fine.
Is it?
Late for practice.
These are in club fines, not USL fines.
Yes. In clubs fines. So
not GB
fines. Fine list. Kind of just your standard stuff. But the biggest ones that happen are probably late for a meal or an event or anything like that. I mean, that's kind of the bulk of the fine money, and then we take that at the end of the year and have a fun team party. So everyone's kind of like a stickler for it because it's all going to a fun cause at the end of the year. But yeah, no, it's not too hard to get fined.
We'll make sure to tell Alan you got here at 6:59, so you're perfect, right on time. We love it. So
that's right, yeah.
And I think, of course, everybody's wanting to know this question. Have you been to Skyline recently?
I have not. Yeah, I know.
Even Jeff is doing you.
See, I'm a very picky eater is the issue. Like, I really don't like many things in general, so.
You can put chili on kale. It might not be, normal, but.
Yeah, I don't like kale either, so. No, I'm going to go one of these days, though. I'm going to have to get dragged by Jeff. Probably. If Jeff's buying, maybe I'll go. Get all you guys some Skyline,
Wonderful. Well, everybody, let's give a big round of applause for our MVP, man of our hearts, Jimmy McLaughlin.
Thanks a lot, guys.
We're going to take a real quick break, so we're going to throw it to Superling for a quick second while we get Jeff Berding in here. So, Jimmy, thank you very much. Guys, if you are interested, we do have some pictures up here we're selling for $5 to help the show. So go check them out up here, and maybe you can talk to your guy Jimmy here. So also make sure to get your specials going if you
Brian.
yeah. Oh, we want to do okay. We're gonna do a quick $25 raffle draw. We're gonna let Bill Wolf do this.
Oh,
enough people hate me.
We don't want Jimmy to pick.
Oh, do we want Jimmy to pick? Do we want everybody to be upset with Jimmy?
Yeah, that's right. That way nobody can get mad. You just pick one number out there. Yeah. All right. So, as I said last Saturday, this is not my fault.
Right. You and Yosef switch out.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys ready with your numbers?
Who's ready?
All right. I'm gonna read the last four because I'm assuming that the first three are the same for everyone. So it's 0, 1, 0, 8. We have a winner on the back.
All right. 0108. Got a winner.
Yep. Come on up. Pick up your gift card and your cooler. We doing both? All right. Thank you. Perfect. Oh, we're going to do another one for just a cooler. All right. Here, I'll let Yosef can pick. All right. So this is for a CST cooler. Very exciting. 0, 1, 2, 9. No one's raising their hand. 0, 1, 2, 9.
There we go.
There we go. Hey. You can pack your lunch to school in that.
One more cooler.
Oh, we're doing one more cooler. Man. All right.
There you go, Bill. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
314-0120. 314-0120. There we go. Front row. Noonan. All right, Jeff,
All right.
would you like to sit down? Brad?
We will do more shortly.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Subs here again. Thank you to everybody who's live at Buffalo Wings and Rings. We appreciate you tuning in live here for a special edition of Cincinnati Soccer Talk. We're going to be visiting with Jeff Berding here in just a few moments, but just want to remind you, you can help support the show. When we do these live shows, it's not cheap. We need some special equipment to make this happen. Please help us out if you can. CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/support is where you can do that. That's where you can learn how to be an episode captain for an episode of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, where you can basically help support the show and help us grow each and every week. So you can do that by heading over again to that website, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/support. If you can't help us out financially, we certainly understand. You can also help us out by leaving a review on iTunes. You can get to our show on iTunes by going to CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/iTunes. So that is my spiel. I'm going to send it back over to the guys back down in Oakley, and they're going to be live coming up here with Jeff Berding, the man of the hour for FC Cincinnati.
Was that the voice of God? Or is that the dulcet tones of Nick Suberling? Thank you very much, Nick, for all you're doing back in Toledo.
Hi, Nick.
Monitoring HQ, yeah.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going, man? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Big day for Jeff Berding. All right, guys. Well, segment 3 on the show. Let's welcome in FC Cincinnati team president, general manager, and all-around good guy, Jeff Berding.
All right, guys. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to FC Cincinnati and everyone who's built this club from scratch. Great job, everyone. Big day for our club. Thank you so much.
Woo! Cheers, everybody. Man, Jeff, you stole my thunder here. Right here on my first bullet point was a cheers to you, good sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Troublemaker.
Yeah, I am Mr. Troublemaker.
Mr. Despicable.
Despicable. The technical term is Angry Brian, or if you saw the Enquirer today, Mr. Front Page, somehow.
Or Bad Twin.
Somehow. No.
Mr. Have One Less.
Mr.
Oh.
Yes. Apparently, I have like
I pray that
1,300
Alan listens to this.
Apparently, oh, dude, I've been groveling at Evan Newton's feet for like a month.
Can we get that sheet out at halftime?
Yeah, we need to do
we
that.
got it.
Oh,
we can do it. We got pictures.
I have to take out more life insurance for that. So no,
we still love you though. It's all good.
I'm blessed. I did have a couple drinks that day.
He's as red as his hair right now.
I'm gonna blame Yosef Sagai. So he had a good time with me that day.
Come on, Yosef. Come on.
We love you, Yosef. And Boston. And Boston. I have to get Boston too.
Come on, Boston.
Boston. I had a really good time. So we appreciate you coming out here. Of course, we had a momentous day,
very momentous.
Extraordinary day. April 16th going to be a legendary day in the club's history. Hopefully very soon we'll have a bigger day. But still, today was just something that I still can't believe that we got it done. So it's amazing. So real quick, I know we got this question on social media. Do you have any plans on taking your family on a long vacation after this whole process?
Well, let me offer. Lindsay, my wife, is here.
And everybody needs to give a round of applause to Lindsay.
Yeah, the most patient woman in the world, probably.
And I literally said, we got to get to a beach sometime very shortly. So it's been a labor of love, but it's certainly been labor.
Yes.
And, I honestly, I think we need to just take a second to think of August 12th of 2015.
Yeah.
We launched this club, and here we are in April of 2018, and in a very short period of time, we've built this club with all of our supporters taking ownership of this. This wasn't Carl Lindner, Scott Farmer, the Josephs. This was literally all of us saying that this is our club, that we're in. We're gonna build this thing. We're gonna do it in a manner that brings pride and happiness to this community. It's the world sport, and we built it together. And obviously today was an enormous stepping stone to the opportunity to get a third major league sports franchise here in Cincinnati.
Love it.
And everyone here tonight owns that.
Have you ever heard the Reds or Bengals say that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my goodness. No, go.
So he's excited.
So excited. Yeah.
He's excited.
Well, I've only spent the last 6 months, every casual waking moment, refreshing my Twitter account to see when the announcement's coming. I'm sure there's a lot of people in here. So, assuming we do get that call from Commissioner Garber, what's the first thing you think you'll do?
Well, let me say the question was, if we get the call from MLS, what's the first thing? So let's talk about that a little bit. In the last few weeks or so, we've hired a technical director, Luke Sassano, brilliant soccer mind, who's really helping us already look at what the roster should be, designated players, traveling internationally to build the roster, not just for this year, because we're still fine-tuning the roster this year, because we want to win a championship this year for Cincinnati, but we're also obviously working on the roster for next year. Mm-hmm. In addition, Fumi Kimura, who's been brilliant, has moved to Pittsburgh. We've hired a new communications vice president who has MLS experience on a national level, who will help us on the communications side. We obviously, with today's vote, need to do a community benefits agreement. We're going to be great neighbors for people in the West End. I know the history suggests that there's a lot of suspicion and doubt, but I look forward to converting all of them into understanding that this deal, us soccer, our sport, this club is different than what's happened before. And so we're certainly going to be working with the West End to make sure that they understand that this is a new time, a new sport, a new ownership group. And then the next is just, we need to continue to build our club. We need to continue to build making our community better. We need to continue to build our game day environment. Obviously, we'll be working with the architects and the urban planners on what the new stadium will look like. And let me just say, as someone who's been through that before, I look forward to working with all of you here, all of our supporters, on the design of the stadium. There's nothing more fun. We're paying for the stadium ourselves, so we're allowed to have fun with building and designing the stadium to make it awesome. With no apologies. We're paying for it ourselves, and you guys get to be a part of that, and it's going to be awesome. So that's certainly going to be one of the greatest, coolest, funnest parts of what's next.
Now, have the fans, of course, you've had experience with building stadiums. Have the fans been more active in this process than you've seen in other types of ventures like this?
Well, I've never known fans to be involved in the design. I think everyone knows we have a fan advisory council, and some of the members of that council are here. And that is our way of making sure that the fans, our supporters, are engaged in the process. And so one of the things I told him when we had our first meeting was, how awesome is it that you are a part of a group that's going to help design the stadium? And that is very cool. But let me make sure that everyone understands, we'll work on a micro level with the supporters group, our fan advisory council, on the design. And then we'll take the work from that group broadly into like season ticket holder and fan town halls and get people's thoughts and buy-in. And it's an awesome way because that gives you ownership of the stadium. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, there'll be awesome, cool ideas like some aluminum seats so that we can stomp and pound and create lots of noise. Like, what should our Bailey look like in the new stadium?
Yeah.
And what should our kids area look like in the new stadium? And those are all things. How do we make sure kids have access to autographs after the game? Those are all things that we're going to design together. And I don't know of any other team that's ever said to their fans, you own this club. This is your club. Let's do this together. And then with every intention, and you've heard it here, I put my word on it, we are all going to design this stadium together. And that is brilliant.
Yeah.
And that is fun. And that is something that we can all take pride in as we continue to build this club.
So, I mean, we obviously had 3 great locations we were looking at from day one. And we've gone through the process and we've narrowed it down to West End. Can you talk a little bit to this group about why you think the West End was the best choice and why that's where we decided to have our stadium?
Thank you, Bill. So the question was, why did we end up in the West End? We had 3 neighborhoods from June of 17. I described them as all winning neighborhoods that we would have been very pleased to build our stadium. We would have built our stadium here in Oakley, right down the street. We would have built our stadium in Newport. We would have built our stadium in the West End. How did we end up in the West End? Very simply, at the end of the day, we want to get an MLS franchise and have a 3rd major league sports club here, a team here representing the global sport of soccer, our sport, everyone in this room. That was the goal. And there's no question that in the history of MLS, stadiums that are in the urban core have been most successful.
Sure.
They have worked best. All around the world, where soccer stadiums are in the urban core, they've worked best. It sort of captures the history and the energy and sort of the working class nature of a city. And that's always been the case. And so it was clear that the West End or the Newport site would give us the best chance to be successful. And at the end of the day, the West End today is the one we've been able to pull off.
Yeah.
I will say that we would have gladly built our stadium here in Oakley. We had a brilliant development that we thought could have worked great, but at the end of the day, we couldn't get that over the finish line. We would have gladly built our stadium in Newport with the downtown Cincinnati skyline from every seat in the house. We thought that would have been brilliant. We couldn't get that over the finish line. But thankfully, we had the mayor, John Cranley. We had P.G. Sittenfeld step up with David Mann. Mm-hmm. We had Amy Murray. We had Jeff Pastor. And we had the unwavering support of Christopher Smitherman. And that gave us the opportunity to get the West End over the finish line. We've signed a community benefits agreement. We're going to be great neighbors to a neighborhood that has not had investment, that has not had people believe in that neighborhood, that has not had the opportunity for jobs and economic investment. And we're going to do that in a way that the people in the West End can believe in and ultimately they can feel good about. And that's what makes us a different kind of club. And I want to say that's on behalf of everyone here.
Yeah. It's like a pep rally. I love it. Man, one of the things you mentioned was history, and the history of this town has been typically German. And I know right now our club's football club, Cincinnati, but we've seen a lot of documentation out there with Fußball Club, the German spelling of football. Is there any comment you can have there about a possible rebrand or support towards moving to that name?
Yes. So the USL team that all of you have been brilliant in supporting is Football Club Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati. The MLS team, if we get over the finish line, will be Foosball Club Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So we will have a new corporate ownership, and our brand will reflect the German heritage of our city that has been brilliant for generations and really ties us to sort of the German history of people that immigrated here and built this city from the ground up. Obviously, we've had a very diverse history in our city, but I think there's a lot to say about the Germans that came here. Munich was our first sister city. That we have special ties to Munich and Germany. Obviously, there's a lot of really good football that goes on in Germany, and we love the idea of having that connection.
Is there any way we can get Glyers in the stadium? Geta.
You mean Geta? Yes. You want Geta?
I want Geta.
I'm a big fan of Geta.
Yes.
So we'll have some Geta.
I like it. I think we
Sundays aren't complete without eggs and Geta. Isn't that right, Lindsay?
Yeah. He's preaching. He's preaching. We love it. So before we get you out of here, and you can have any final thoughts after that. As a fan, I've always wondered, and I guess I don't know if you can really answer this or not, but how would Major League Soccer tell us? Would they call you? Would they call Mr. Lindner? Do we have any idea?
They're going to call Bill Wolf.
They're going to call Bill Wolf. Mr. FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, I got Don on our speed dial. It's all cool.
Very cool. Well, Jeff, do you have any final thoughts? We definitely appreciate your time.
So let me offer. We missed the March 31 deadline, and so now there's an owners meeting tomorrow where the MLS owners will gather, and they're going to talk about Cincinnati. And I don't know exactly how their meeting's going to go because it's not my meeting. We're not in MLS. I don't know how it's going to go. But I know that they're going to have a meeting, and I know they're going to talk about Cincinnati. And I know at this point we can say we have the ownership group led by Carl Lindner and the Lindner family and Scott Farmer and the Farmer family and the Josephs, and there'll be a lot of other folks. We have the ownership group. We have a market thanks to all of you brilliant, wonderful people that are literally the American success story of building soccer in this country. So we got that part. We have the business community. We have a management team that proves it knows how to run a Major League Soccer franchise at a high level. And now we have an urban soccer-specific stadium that's been approved that's going to be privately financed. So we certainly believe there's no reason whatsoever that they can't get together tomorrow and say, we want Cincinnati to be the next expansion team. We fully expect that they'll have the opportunity tomorrow to say that. However, I want to say I'm not in the room. We're not owners yet. And so we have to be respectful to the process. I truly am, as I always am, very transparent. I don't know exactly how the meeting's going to go tomorrow, but we know that we took away any obstacle with the action tonight. We took the obstacle away with the leadership of City Council, as I said earlier. And so now we wait. But I know this. We feel very bullish about what we together have built. We are very bullish about the opportunity to have a heck of a party here in the next few days. And I look forward to buying the first round of beers for everyone here when we get the word. That's what we're going to do. Woo! Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jeff. One last round, big round of applause here for Jeff Berding. Thank you so much, troublemaker. I love it. No, I think it's amazing to kind of really think where we would be without this man up here. So
it's all in love.
I know we love you. All right, guys. Before we wrap it up here, we have a couple minutes. More giveaways. We get Yosef going. Couple giveaways here. Yosef, I don't know if you want to come back up here. I know we got a real quick game to talk about.
I'll pull another card here. All right, this will be for a $25 gift card. And I got to put my glasses on. All right, I'm going to go for the last 4 digits again because it's simpler. 0134. 0134 for a $25 gift card. No? Wait. Over where?
There we go. All right.
All right. Come on up.
Oh, we got a good crowd here.
You should get the $25 one. 0134.
Don't trust you.
We don't trust you at all.
Do we have a gift card? Is that it? We'll do it off air. We'll do those off air. We got to wrap up the show here. You guys, again, we definitely have a big shout out here to Grayson Coors and Buffalo Wings and Rings in Oakley. Again, a great place to check out FC Cincinnati matches. There's not 100 TVs, but gosh darn, there's a ton of them. So it's an amazing place here. Plus, they have great wings and some of the best blue cheese. We were making a joke off air of they should name a wing sauce after the Twins. So if y'all want to get creative,
Be called Despicable.
be despicable. Wild ginger. All right. Well, real quick, guys. Of course, we do have an upcoming match this Saturday versus Bob Lilly's Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Saturday at 7 p.m. So, guys, right there, Bill. So, what are we expecting out of this big game? You know, this is a team that we've kind of had our way with over the past couple of years, but they're a brand new squad, brand new coach. They haven't conceded a goal yet in 4 matches. Of course, they've only played Toronto and Ottawa and Penn FC. So, what's your thoughts, Brad?
Oh, Lily Ball is playing a total effect in Pittsburgh. Most people, if they think over the last couple of years, you think about Pittsburgh, not very good, low budgets. You know, we made a bus trip up there last year and took care of that. Excuse me. But it's a completely different team, completely different organization. I know they've added seats to that place. They've added some money to the squad, and they brought in Rochester's head coach, Bob Lilly. Bob Lilly of the team that won the title 3 years ago, the year before FC Cincinnati got into the league. And they're known for packing it in. And I just think that we got to be ready for that. And, you know, I mentioned earlier in the show, one of the things that I'm most worried about has been the lack of finishing thus far with the squad, and we need to be more clinical up front. You can't have Ledesma or Nazmi, you know, hit little shots right in front, clear over the bar. We got to take advantage of those opportunities, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. You know, like you said, 4 matches, not against the most stout competition, but they have yet to concede.
Well, hopefully it's going to be warmer than 35 degrees this go around. Hopefully it's a nice game on Saturday. Bill Wolf, are you? Yeah, we're gonna have a good crowd. We're gonna have a good showing here.
Oh, we're absolutely gonna have a good crowd. I mean, this is Pittsburgh. It's an orange out. Everyone hates Pittsburgh almost as much as we hate Louisville. So you know, we're gonna come out. We're gonna do the team proud, and you know, this is the team's chance to show the home crowd what they've got. I think every game they've played, they've gotten better. We're seeing a lot more creativity in the attacking 4, and you know, they can bunker down, but I think we'll break it down. It may not be a high-scoring game, but we're definitely going to come out on top this time.
And of course, you're going to have some noticeable names. You got Romeo Parks, Kevin Kerr, Canardo Forbes from Rochester, Nico Brett, who came over from the Portland Timbers. So it's going to be a pretty exciting game. Of course, you have March to Match Day, which will come out, I think, Wednesday. We're going to have the Mongols on the March to Match Day podcast previewing the show, or previewing the game. So make sure to check that out. Yosef Sagai, you got any final thoughts? You know, bringing any fun people to the match?
No. But my final thought would be, what are the chances that we see another karate kick out of Romeo Parks? What, too soon?
Whoops, too soon. Well, Carl Wime's on Indy, so you never know how that works out.
But no, really though, I think while this is a team that packs it in, this is a team that we probably won't see a lot of offense get through to them. If we get 1 goal on them, I'm confident that they're not going to be able to come back. And even with the style of soccer they play, I felt really good about the resiliency last week to get a goal after a chunk of time where we really weren't playing our best soccer.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty, as Jeff would say, bullish on this team and their performance.
Trust the process.
Coming on Saturday.
They have T-shirts with bullish and trust the process on them come MLS. All right, guys, real quick. We have about 90 seconds before we have to wrap up this show here. So, Brad, give me your final thoughts on the week or game or whatever you want to talk about.
This is what it's all about right here, right?
Yeah.
Literally, this has been the best 2.5 years of my life. You know, just coming together, meeting amazing people. I just can't thank you guys enough. This has been a labor of love with us, and to see you all out here coming out to see FC Cincinnati, it's just incredible. So I just thank all of you guys, and this is what it's about here for. It's friends and family.
Bill Wolf?
Give a shout-out to Build It Here, who have taken a lot of flack in the last year.
Amen.
But they obviously have done yeoman's work, and I think we got it across the finish line today. So thanks a lot. I see Kevin over there. obviously Councilman Ellerby, Chris
Mayor,
White.
His Eminence.
Joseph Sagai.
I think you both said it best. It's really awesome to see everybody out here. And I think this team, there's a lot that goes into the soccer team that we never really thought would happen with this podcast. We thought would never happen. So I think this final couple of weeks or days or whatever it may be before an MLS bid are going to be very exciting, and a lot's going to come to fruition that we've been anticipating. So thanks for coming out, and thanks for having us, Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Real quick before we head to Brian, can we please give a round of applause to Yosef's mom coming out here tonight?
Yeah, Yosef's mom.
Sweetest lady in the world.
Up.
Sweetest lady, most kind woman in the world.
She likes me better. She likes me better.
Everyone likes you better.
Yeah.
Not the team.
Said nobody. Real quick, guys, a great shout. Thank you all for coming out here. Big shout out again. Jeff mentioned her a little bit ago. Fumi Kimura, who's a former PR director for the club. She kind of gave us our first start, our first open the door, and I think we are extremely grateful for a person who take a chance on us, and we definitely appreciate her very much. Again, big shout out to everybody who's not up here that helped us. Nick back in Toledo. You got Ben back here. Trisha over here. Boston. Rob. Am I missing anybody else?
Griffin's not here.
Griffin's not here. All y'all, thank you so much.
Ken.
Ken, everybody who's not here.
Yeah.
So
Injured.
Yeah, injured. So y'all, thank you very much. And I think we're going to have another one of these coming up soon.
Yeah, we'll announce our next show. It'll be mid-May, and I think we'll announce it later this week.
All right, guys, on to Pittsburgh. We'll talk to you next Monday night, 9 o'clock, Facebook, YouTube, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. Thank you all very much.
Should we have Soups say watch your tackles?
Soups. Good, Soups.
Watch your tackles.
Well, there you go.
Thanks, guys. All right, I think we're going to do a real quick drawing. Yosef, I bet you he's mad at me because he's trying to close it up.